I'm Dolly Curtis, and I'm at the Caramore Estate in Katona, New York. And we've come today to introduce you to a beautiful young Russian pianist. Her name is Katya Grineva, and hi, Katya.
Hello.
This is actually charming for us to be here, to see you, and you just look the part.
Well, I'm very happy to be here. So it's a beautiful place.
Beautiful place, enchanting on this day. So, and I understand that you're going to play a full concert.
Yeah, it's just going to be an hour concert.
Well, we're going to try to share as much of that as we can with the audience in Connecticut. How does somebody like you come to reach this level of skill, and you're so young?
I'll practice, and practice.
And that sounds good. Practice,
How do you
practice.
get to the Carnegie Hall?
How do you get to the Carnegie Hall?
Practice, and practice.
Some people practice a lot and don't get there, but I mean, you're just such a young person. So did all this training start in the Soviet Union with you?
Yeah, I came here 7 years ago, and so I came here when I was 19, so most of my life I lived in Moscow. And I went to the best school actually, under Moscow Conservatory.
Mm-hmm.
So I was lucky, and I had a great professor for 4 years who was actually teaching at Moscow Conservatory and was one of the best musicians there.
So you had a good start.
Yeah, I was very lucky.
But were you a concert pianist at that age, or was that before?
Well, I played in concerts. It wasn't like I was concertizing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I did play a few times in Moscow Conservatory Hall with other students. Usually very successful.
So how'd you make this change over to come to the United States?
I came as a tourist. I came as a tourist for 1 month, and my father was actually working in Buffalo, in New York.
Oh, I know it.
And then
Cold.
he left. He went back, and I stayed because I met a wonderful family in New York, and they let me stay with them. I lived with them for 5 years.
So is that a difficult thing to do, to leave the Soviet Union at that time to come to the United States? You were a student. You could be considered a student at that time. 19
I was a tourist.
Tourist.
And then I didn't want to go back because I thought there are much more opportunities here in New York.
Which is true?
Which is true, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I applied for like 5 schools, and I got scholarships from different schools, and then I chose manners because they gave me the biggest scholarship. Plus, I liked the teacher.
Where is it, the manners school?
It's on 85th and Columbus.
I see.
But my teacher, Nina Svetlanova, she was also teaching at Manhattan School, so I went to Manhattan School for classes, piano classes.
And then you went to the manners school, but they put you right into a master's degree program?
So it also worked. Everything worked.
How nice. So you didn't have to go through a bachelor's. Is it a Bachelor of Fine Art, or is it a Bachelor of Music?
Bachelor of Music. They gave me credits.
Oh, that's nice.
I took the tests, and
the
dean called me, and he said, you can go to master's or you can go to bachelor. What do you want to do? And I said, where do I have more time to practice piano? He says, master's. I said, okay.
Because it's more concentrated at that point.
Right.
But also, do you realize if you had gone through the bachelor's program, would have been about 4 years full-time plus the cost of that?
And plus 2 more years for master's. I got my master's, I was, 22 already.
And that's nice.
So I was done. And I'm kind of happy to be out of school, because the moment you come out, there's so many opportunities around,
Not so much stress either, trying to meet all those classes and all those commitments.
It was a wonderful experience just to be with students and teachers and all that stuff, But I think in school they keep you in that academic structure. You can't avoid it, right?
Right.
Once you're out of school, it's like up to you what you want to do. I was very lucky because the moment I graduated and I didn't know what to do with myself, that's when I got my contract for the CD. That's like a month later.
So tell everybody about the CD, because that's how I met you, from the CD. Because I have the CD, which I listen to every single night. I also have a little dog, and it has been ill, so I play the CD. Your CD,
right?
Yeah, it's very healing. So how did that all happen, about the CD?
Well, I was in Vermont visiting that place, Woodstock.
Yes.
And I played in a hotel there. There was a piano there. And actually, I wanted to play for my friend a few pieces, and the piano was locked, and I was looking for a guy to unlock the piano. It was a very funny story. Finally, I met that guy, and I said, please, would you let me play the piano? He started asking me questions, like, where did I come from, who's my teacher? Didn't want to open the piano. Finally, he opened the piano, and I played Chopin Nocturne, which is like one of my favorite pieces, and he started crying. And he says, why don't you come at night and play for people? They will go over for dinner and maybe you'll meet some people. Sure enough, I came, I started playing, and 50 people gathered around the piano. And 8 months later, one of them, Cindy, called me back. She was from Boston. She said, I met the guy who's a producer. Why don't you send him your tape? So I sent him my tape. He called me back and he said he wants to make a classical CD, which was Byron.
Byron, and that's
Byron
how.
Buckle. That's how it all happened.
And then I purchased that CD, which I've been playing, and then they introduced me to you. And you said you were kind enough to come to Connecticut. So you like to play concerts, you said, for people.
I love, yeah. That's what I love.
So are you really willing to come and play concerts for people? You said you like to play in people's private homes.
Everywhere, yeah. I'm happy when I play the piano for people. I mean, that's what makes me happy. It's just sharing music and sharing a spirit and love through music.
Right.
You know? And it can be in a big hall where you have 2,000 people, which is exciting because of this energy you get from people. But even if you play for 20 people in a small room, it's the same, you know?
It's a beautiful story. Well, will you play a little bit for us? Because I know the audience by now, they're probably listening and they're charmed by your beauty and they probably want to hear this. So could we stop and play a little bit?
Yeah.
Great.
Thanks. Absolutely.
So what happens now? I mean, here you've had this wonderful beginning. You came here 17 years old. Is that what you said again? 17.
19.
19. And your schooling worked out wonderfully well. And then the first thing that happened is the CD was produced. But what do you think you want to try to do now?
Oh, actually, I'm going to have another CD by the end of November.
Which is real exciting.
Yeah, and then my dreams are to play all over the world. My dream is to play Carnegie Hall debut. I'm playing in Weill Hall already. You know, Weill Recital
Which is
Hall.
the smaller recital hall.
I played in February and I'm playing again end of October. But my dream is to play in a big hall. I don't know, it's just ever since I was little. You know, you hear Carnegie Hall and it's like...
You mean you hear that in the Soviet Union, Carnegie Hall?
Yeah, you hear Carnegie Hall.
In music school.
And as the best concert hall, probably all over the world.
Well, why wouldn't you play in the big concert hall there?
I want to.
I couldn't see any reason you couldn't do it. Now, you have to get yourself prepared for that, though, in terms of music preparation.
Yeah, I think it's more managers and promotional preparation.
Oh, so it's more always the economic issue, always? Because you told me that you have your music pretty much, you feel skilled and accomplished, so it's not going to be that preparation. As an artist, it's not,
right.
You're ready.
Yeah, I think things happening, you know, they're kind of happening little by little and they're getting higher and higher.
That's nice. That's very nice because you're at a good start. You know, you're so young and it's a great start for you. I heard people were just thrilled you came to play a concert in Easton, and I heard that people were just standing and cheering.
Yeah, I love that. Actually, they were touched.
They were touched.
And I'm touched when people touch, so it works good.
How does your English become so excellent? It's just perfect.
Talking.
Just talking, really? That did it? I mean, you said you came here and you were totally trained in the Soviet Union.
Well, I knew some English. You know, I studied in a school which we had English every week. So I guess I learned grammar and I learned words. I couldn't use them, though. I couldn't, and I
But
really
the family that you lived with in Buffalo, that's...
No, in New York.
In New York.
They talk English, yeah. She speaks Russian, but we spoke English because her husband doesn't speak Russian. So I kind of had to learn it.
How about in college? How about in that master's program?
Yeah, you have to speak English. And I didn't have Russian friends, I only had American friends.
And now, do you have mostly
American friends?
And you must have a lot of friends.
Yeah.
Because I know I can never reach you on the phone, so I figure you have lots of friends.
Yeah.
And you have a lot of practicing to do. But you practice where you are?
Yeah. Actually, I'm lucky somebody gave me a Steinway piano. The family moved away to Israel and they had beautiful piano, like Steinway piano. And somebody who heard me in Cafe Mozart called me up, and we were not friends, said, you know what, you play so beautifully. And I was thinking, would you like to take this piano?
So now, was that really hard to get that into where you are, though? Because moving it is the whole...
It's okay.
Okay, it must have been...
But it was amazing, because it's on Coney Island. So I took a trip to Coney Island, and I was shocked when I came out of the subway, because it's not like Manhattan, obviously.
Right.
And then I took this black car, which took me to that different part of Coney Island where it's all closed, you know, they have mansions. And I came, and there was a gorgeous mansion, totally empty, and only one piano in the middle of it.
And this whole mansion, the furniture was all gone?
Everything was gone. It was almost like spooky experience,
like
you know?
movie.
Like a movie. And here was this piano. It's not even black. It's like off-white with ornaments. It's an old piano from 1910 or
All
something.
decorate. But you knew that you could make it work for you?
It's a wonderful piano. All I had to do is tune it, nothing else.
Boy, that's a wonderful story. You're full of wonderful stories. You're like Lady Luck. I think it's
lucky.
wonderful. I'm sure that the Carnegie Hall thing will happen. There isn't any doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
All these things are just working right along. Now, do you have to give people piano lessons? I know it's very hard as an artist to do that.
I don't.
You don't?
I give a couple of lessons from time to time to people who want. I stay away from it because I think for now there are people who are really good at it, and you know, and they love to teach. And I can be good at it, but I want to concentrate more on playing.
Absolutely.
Right now.
The intensity of being prepared to be a concertizing.
And I always wanted to be a concert pianist. It's like, that's it. I always knew for me that's what expresses me, you know? So I don't do anything else. Even if it's hard, I just stay with what I love, you know?
How about your dad? Is he still here? Oh, you said he went back to the Soviet Union.
My family is in Russia. Except my sister, she is now in New York as well. But my mother and my father, they were in Russia.
You're a brave soul, aren't you, to have come here as a tourist that time and to have stayed because you didn't speak the language, you didn't have any friends except that family that you were living with in Buffalo.
No. I met this family. I knew family in Buffalo, but I lived with family in New York. They adopted me. They're like my adopted family.
So that was your support system, or this family in New York?
Yeah, they were amazing.
I'd say. So they're still supporting you, of course? They're still your closest friends?
Yeah, like
Well,
my adopted family.
It's a wonderful story,
Yeah, I
all
love
of
them.
this.
I have many families.
Many families, yeah, your USA family. Well, it was the only way to do it, though, was to find yourself another home, an adopted home, so that you could come and get yourself established, which is what you're doing. Your schooling's all finished, and now you're just out there doing your thing.
Right.
Well, I just couldn't tell you how exciting it is. Everybody in Connecticut was so excited when you came to play. And will you come back to Connecticut, do you think? I know today you're in Carramore, but you said that you would be willing to come.
Absolutely.
Is there some way people could get in touch with you and
Yeah.
and reach you to see if they could make arrangements for you to come and play in a public hall or a
Yeah.
private party?
I mean, they can call.
Well, maybe what we'll do at the end of the program is we'll try to give people a way of reaching you
Yeah.
so that they can enjoy meeting this beautiful creature. We're going to stop another moment, and Kat is going to play for us again because we want to take advantage of being here in this beautiful place and having your music. So will you play for us again?
Absolutely.
That'll be wonderful.
Thank you.
So
I
how
love
did you
it.
get here to Carramore?
A couple of friends helped me actually. One friend, her name is Terry Ferraro. She was involved with this art center, and she introduced me. And then another person heard me in New York in a church.
Well, how do you
And
feel about it? What do you think about this place?
It's a gorgeous
so gorgeous.
place.
Mm-hmm. So
It's
different.
beautiful mansion, and yeah, first time when I came, I was shocked because I couldn't believe. I felt like I'm in Italy or Spain, and this courtyard in springtime is so gorgeous.
Imagine outdoor concert here. I hear they do them every week on Wednesdays. Well, if they did them outside at different seasons, that must be wonderful.
They have concerts in museums every Wednesday, but they have the whole summer is a.
There's a very special music festival here. You were
I
telling
think it's
me.
one of the most famous festivals. Yeah.
Oh, so that's why you were knowing you were in the right place.
Right.
Because the level is very high, and it was nice for you to be invited here.
Yeah, and this lady, Mercedes, she's so wonderful. The host.
She's very elegant.
Yeah, she's wonderful.
So here we are at Carramore having this wonderful time. I feel like I'm in a little piece of heaven here. And we hope to hear that you're coming back to Carramore to play another one of these concerts.
I think maybe in June when I can play outdoors.
Outdoors in the courtyard.
So you can come and film it.
Yeah, we could come again if we don't do it right the first time. Well, you're a dear woman and an elegant person as well. This whole place is just filled with elegance, and you fit right in. Everything about you. Thank you so much for sharing with us today and with the audience, and we feel very treated to have listened to your music.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Thank you, Katya. I have this elegant lady with me, and she's going to introduce herself to you.
I am Mercedes Miller. I am the museum coordinator here at Carramore.
This is a beautiful place, and so I thought you might be able to tell the audience a little bit about what happens here.
Well, this is a Mediterranean-style mansion, and it was built between 1929 and 1939, by Walter and Lucy Rosen. And we have a wonderful collection of European and Oriental art. The entire rooms were transported from Europe, and they are on view. They are open to the public Wednesday through Sunday, the first tour at 1 and the last one at 3. Right now we are very excited because for the first time we have on view gowns from Mrs. Rosen's and accessories, and as I said, this is the first time, and hopefully will be the first of a series of exhibits that will from now on will be displaying.
So it's going to change all the time then?
Yes.
So it'll be in the fall?
This is for the fall. We'll be closing at the end of this month, and then it'll be just by appointment only, and then we'll reopen again in May. And in May we have a wonderful collection of costumes, and so that will be our exhibit in the spring.
So Carramore is really an outdoor experience, and if it's May through October, much of it is the grounds, the beautiful gardens.
That too, yes, we have wonderful gardens, but also the museum. I mean, this really was Carramore started as a mansion, as a house, and then expanded because the Rosens loved music so much. Actually, both of them were musicians.
And you told me it's actually called Carramore Center for Music and the Arts.
Right.
And there's a big festival that takes place here in the summertime.
That's correct, in the end of June through the middle of August.
And what's that about?
Well, we have wonderful musicians here, Yo-Yo Ma,
so we're talking about real high quality.
Oh, yes, absolutely. But also, I must tell you that every Wednesday from April through November, right here in the music room, we have short recitals on Wednesdays at 11 o'clock, followed by a tour of the house. The tour takes about an hour, and is well worth it.
They say it's a very romantic place coming here.
Oh, it is. It is.
So that means that people can come and call. They can call, though. Can you give me a phone number that people could call?
914-232-8076.
So if they call to be sure that they have the hours correct, it's 1 to 4.
1 to 4, the last tour being at 3.
So it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But we're talking about October through, May through October.
Correct. And then November through April is by appointment only, Monday to Friday. So they will have to call first to make an appointment.
Well, we highly recommend that you come and visit. This place is unique, and it's enchanting to be here.
you enter Carramore and you feel like you're in Europe. You really do. It's a terrific experience. I recommend people to visit
Right, you
Carramore.
feel like you've gone back 100 years
Yes,
in time in Europe.
yes,
So we're
yes.